Just recently, on December the 25th, a bomb explosion outside St. Teresa's Catholic Church in Madala, Suleja in Niger State killed over 25 people. That figure was not confirmed at that time, as there were fears the death toll could rise. Also on that Christmas Day, a shootout by unknown gunmen killed a policeman outside the Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry in Jos, Plateau State. Now this came on the heels of warnings by the police that certain places were marked out to be bombed on Christmas Day.
You can see so many families gone. Household, the whole household gone. The two vehicles parked in the front there. The first one there, the people are 5. And the one following it, the people are 3.
Now, while most parts of the country were still trying to grapple with the phenomenon of improvised explosive devices, better known as IEDs, a phenomenon beyond our control, but predicted anyway, came pouring down. Earlier in the year, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency had predicted heavy rainfalls, one the Nigerian Emergency Management Agency also warned could be devastating. Did the authorities heed the warnings? Well, whether they did or not, the disaster was unexpected and devastating in its timing. In Lagos, on July the 10th, a 17-hour continuous downpour of rainfall caused a severe flooding that rendered many homeless and left about 25 people dead. According to the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, the amount of rain meant to fall in 1 month came down in 1 day. Now let's take a look at events that followed afterwards.
It's the rainy season. People are used to the rain falling and stopping. But when it goes on and on pouring like it did last Sunday, it becomes worrisome. Climatologists have long analyzed that increasing heavy rainfall is caused by climate change. Lagos is a coastal city, but whenever there is a heavy rain, Etiosa local government area is worst hit because it's a wetland area that has been sand-filled. Maegun community, like many others, are still suffering from the effects of the rain. The residents attribute the cause of their worst flood experience to the new trapezoidal channel, which they claim is poorly constructed.
This the contractor they give the work to, I am sure they don't know anything about drainage. Because in this type of situation, all the places you used to see drainage like this, when rain stop, the water will float away to the lagoon. Instead of the water to go to the lagoon, all the water will be flowing back to the village.
Now this canal cause all this thing now. You can see. You can see bricklayer will give carpenter will give mechanic. See what is going on. They didn't finish the work.
But a critical look at the drainage channel shows it's littered with refuse that has blocked the passage. The damage caused by the recent rain cannot be ascertained, but the ruins are visible and pitiable. Even the chickens in the neighborhood are stranded. Shops are closed and homes vacated by those who had places to run to. Others are left with no choice. Despite the Lagos State promise of a flood-free season, Lagos residents are still battling with the problem. If meteorological predictions of more rains is anything to go by, environmental experts fear for the safety of helpless people like these.
The rains that we normally will get in July, what happened on July 10 was higher than it. You can say it was like 35 times the rain for 1 month. And if it was pouring like that, and drainages are blocked, and so on and so forth, where do you want the water to go?
While Lagos was still trying to grapple with the disaster, the rains were gearing up to hit another southwest state, Oyo State. Now, after 6 hours of torrential rain, the Eleyele Dam could not contain the water and so overflowed into the city. The destruction it left in its wake was unimaginable, as bridges and houses were damaged and washed away. This left over 100 people dead, most of the victims children. In Ibadan, 2,000 residents were displaced by the floods, which were exacerbated by refuse and debris which clogged the drains in the city. It was also reported that the high number of casualties was as a result of occupied buildings sited along the waterways. 3 months after the July 10 rains in Lagos, the floods were yet to go away. A visit to most parts of Lagos and Ogun State gave a clear picture of a situation that may be a frequent occurrence in time to come. 3 months after the last heavy downpour in July, there's been more rain. Though not as heavy as the previous, the downpour has started taking its toll. A rise in the Oya Dam, which was let out into the Ogun River, has left many stranded and many more relocating, leaving a lot of damage in its wake.
What you see behind me is what you might call a seasonal river, often caused by the release of the Oya Dam. In this case, it's caused by the overflow of the Ogun River. A natural occurrence that would have gone unnoticed if there was a well-constructed bridge to ease human and vehicular traffic. In this case, there's never been a bridge ever since this occurrence started. As such, the people have to make do with this makeshift bridge for a cost of 50 naira.
While some residents complain of exploitation, others say the footbridge has only made things easier, being the only assistance they have ever received.
Some rogues are using it as a means of exploiting people.
We have no government. If we really have government, things will not work out like this. It is the KBSEA that is doing this work, that constructed this makeshift plan for us.
Immediately this thing happens, like this, we didn't see anybody. We didn't see any local government chairman, we didn't see councillor, we didn't see anything. That is why I make a bridge, temporary bridge.
According to residents of Denro Ishashi in Ogun State and its environs, the flood is usually caused by the opening of the Oya Dam, which happens every 3 years. The last occurrence was in October 2010, but the water is not their problem.
Once a bridge is constructed, not just like all this covert or whatever, what I mean is a very strong bridge that will be able to last for some time. So that problem will be ameliorated.
The problem is further compounded by the residents who block the passage with refuse, making the water unsafe to step in. A visit to residents at Agility 1 in Lagos State reveals a mild situation. The community, known as Agility 2 in Mile 12, reveals the true situation. Houses abandoned owing to the flood, cars covered in water, and access made difficult. But it's not all bad news for everyone. Believe it or not, we are on a major street on Agility before the water came. In order to access this road, we had to take a canoe ride. Residents who chose to speak off camera say they have no problem with the water. According to them, water comes and water goes. As witnessed in Ogun State, the flood reveals the absence of the infrastructure needed to tackle the after effect of climate change.
We need channelization. Lagos is like this. We cannot shy away from the truth.
The water is likely to rise in the coming days. While many question the absence of an announcement to precede the release of the Oya Dam, more important to note is the lack of infrastructure, rescue and relief materials required to deal with the situation now and in the future, as more rains are expected to fall.